It's no secret that the world and his dog is in love with Powercats these days. Everyone seems to be building them. Established builders seem to be building them. New brands seem to be cropping up. But here at the Cannes Yachting Festival is a Powercat that has to be the most unusual boat at this or pretty much any other show. This is the first catamaran from Tunisian brand Wama, and it's called the Wama 42 XL. Now, the first way in which this new Wama 42 XL deviates from the norm of the sector is in terms of its style. It's hardly something you can miss. Lovely, aggressive, faceted angles all over those hull sides. Absence of guardrails on top of those gunnels. We'll talk about that a little bit more because they do have a solution for that. And as you move round towards the back end here, well, the differences keep on coming. You generally expect a Powercat at this size to be inboard powered. We've got here a pair of Mercury's 600 horsepower V12 outboards instead. And if we look at the words on the back of this boat, that kind of gives the game away a little. It's all aluminium, this craft, the entire thing. The only thing that isn't aluminium in terms of the construction is the carbon fibre roof structure and the carbon fibre engine mounts. And the reason it's built from aluminium is the founder of the company wanted a boat for himself to take him spearfishing in a way that his family could also enjoy the day out, and this is his solution. And obviously, given that he thought he was only going to build the one boat at the outset, he didn't want to create expensive moulds and build it from fiberglass. So this is the aluminium boat, still boat number one, but developed since then, and he hopes he's going to be able to build plenty more of them. And of course, the second word, Hysercraft, well, that refers to a South African company that specialises in foil. So this is a foil-equipped, aluminium-built, outboard-powered Powercat. And that in itself is quite a rare and special thing. But let's jump on board and take a look at the finer details. Now, as you can see, we've got a little high-low platform in the centre there. I say little, it's an electric platform capable of handling 300 kilos, so you can pop your jet ski on that, no problem at all. And as we step up into the cockpit, we've got plenty of shelter from the roof structure overhead. A good size of table there, or two tables I should say, that drop into the space. You can convert them into a sunbed. They're built from carbon fibre as well, actually. And a nice big aft bench with space for freestanding furniture where these ladies are standing on the deck in the centre there. But it's a relatively short cockpit in relation to the length. And actually, even though it's the XL, a relatively modest beam at 5.4 metres. They're apparently going to build an additional 42, which will be built from fiberglass, and that will have a 4.8 metre beam, just so they can equip it with smaller engines, get a higher performance, a longer range, at the expense of the beamy saloon we're about to step into in a minute. But first, just a few extra details. This unit here on the port side, that is your fridge section. This unit here on the starboard side, that's your barbecue. Let's nip up onto the side deck. And as you do so, you just can't help noticing the angles all over this boat. It's a very dynamic looking thing. Even the gunnels themselves, if you can call them that, kind of taper, become quite sharp as you move along. And this is the solution they come up with for the guardrails, just simple receptacles in the deck. You pop your carbon fibre poles in there, erect your guardrails when you need them, pop them away when you don't. And you've got to say, in terms of the aesthetic of this thing, it pays big dividends. But look at this, hull angles everywhere. And what I'm particularly interested in as we move towards the foredeck is the way that the forward part of the superstructure tapers right in. And that's particularly interesting because in the Powercat sector, where beam is all important, a lot of manufacturers will do everything they can to maximise that beam, maximise that internal volume, and show it to you at every possible opportunity. Well, not so here. Look at the shape of this, tapered right in. So it looks super cool. It's better, I would think, for aerodynamics. And while it limits space, that's very much part and parcel of what this boat is all about. It's not about the volume, it's about the performance, it's about the looks, and it's about standing out from the crowd, and it certainly does that. Now if we spin around and take a look at this foredeck, we've got a big central sunbed sunken into those mouldings. We've also got plenty of storage. If I open this puppy up, you'll see exactly what I mean. A ladder down into there. They are experimenting with the idea of generating a crew cabin and a toilet up here as well. So we'll see what the future brings in that regard. And the anchor mechanism, well, you can't really see it because it's behind this plate on the bow. Operated from the helm, projects out and down. And there's a camera so you can monitor that from the helm station itself. Now let's make our way back aft down this port side deck, and as we do so, it's worth noticing this little hatch in the bottom step. That gives you access to the top ends of the fuel tanks, one on either side. And given that we have an outboard rig here, it's worth lifting this hatch too, because as you can see, in the absence of an inboard engine, we got a decent cavity down here for the storage of bulky items. Same on the other side, of course. And actually, if you want to use this for an inboard engine, that too can be done. You don't have to spec it with these outboard engines that we have here today. And with those 600s on the transom, you'll get around about 40 knots out of this boat. But if you're happy with 35 odd, then you can spec a pair of Yanmar 440s instead. But let's shut that back up now and pop inside to see exactly what that tapering superstructure does to the internal space. And as you can see, what we basically have here is an aft lounge on the port side, a fore and aft galley on the starboard side, and a pair of helm seats up here in this tapering section. As for the facilities at this galley, well, we've got a good size of dishwasher built in here, a relatively compact hob, just 2 induction rings. You can certainly spec bigger and more sophisticated if you want it. There's also a TV up top that folds down from the deck head. And as things stand, this section of window is fixed, and they're going to change that, I think, just so that you can open up this starboard side and open the galley to that cockpit space. What else we have here though is a really impressive sink with a very modern kind of tap. You can pull this down, you can hit this button. Look at that, that's pretty swish. And I think if I just turn that back on, maybe it's not working today. Maybe I need to push a button. But either way, it comes up with the temperature, so you can then adjust it very specifically. We've got plenty of refrigeration too, both up top and down below. Really good size, and you can use these either as freezers or fridges if you like. There's some additional storage back here beneath the windows, and we also have, very cleverly, an opening port light directly next to the galley, just to help you get rid of any smells and any steam. And as for the helm station itself, well, that is extremely high spec. We've got all sorts of equipment built into the hub at the center of the steering wheel, which in itself is quite a rare thing. And as you can see, that is also adjustable. We've got a pair of 12-inch plotters up on the main tier of the dash. A little bit of basic switchgear backlit. Very classy feeling. And if I sit in the seat itself and take a look forward, well, visibility is very good. They say they're going to actually moderate the tinting on these side panels because it does darken things down quite significantly. But as I say, the scale of the view is very impressive indeed. And it's a comfortable spot too. You can use this sort of side tray as a ledge for your elbow, reach very naturally to the throttles. The wheel itself is very attractive. We got the joystick ahead of this charging pad here. And actually this is a live view of the anchor, the camera I was talking about. So that's the inside of the cabinet, that's the hatch that comes away to enable the anchor to deploy, so you can keep an eye on what's going on there. But what's particularly interesting here is this little section beneath the foredeck. If we pop down, you'll see it's basically a tiny little bedroom style of space. Perfect, you would think, for popping your kids just to have a little nap or to keep a grip of where they are when you're on a long passage. And here on the side of that is a mini washing machine, believe it or not. There's some storage in here as well if we peer in further forward, and a little hatch up above. And if you open that hatch up when you're underway, then you get lots of lovely air streaming through to keep everyone in the saloon nice and cool. But of course that's not the primary cabin on this boat. as you'd expect, we have accommodation in both hulls, and you can spec that with an owner's style cabin in each hull for 2-cabin configuration, or 2 cabins in each hull for a 4-cabin configuration, or like this test boat, you can have 2 cabins in one hull and an owner's cabin in the other, so a 3-cabin layout, and that's what we're going to take a look at right now. So if we look to port, this is the hull that's been used for the 2 cabins. So right ahead of us here is the heads compartment, so you can use this very easily as your day heads. We'll peer in there straight away actually. It takes a wet room sort of approach, the toilet forward, a nice rain shower in the centre there, the drainage panel in the floor, and the sink further aft. Good headroom again as elsewhere on this boat, and an opening window just to get rid of steam. Nicely recessed LED lighting on the deck heads as well. Now if we move forward now, you see we use a sliding door here. If I can operate it, can I? No, I don't think I can. No, I really can't. So we use a sliding door here to maximise space, avoid the need for an arc of travel as you open it. And here in the forepeak essentially is a raised double bed with good storage underneath. Decent storage to the side as well if we open those up. No rail, but certainly big enough for hanging storage. More open shelving there, and a set of relatively small recessed windows, but perfectly fine for sitting up in bed and getting a view. Now if we spin around and head aft, this is a slightly more generous double cabin. There's some nice detailing too, where it's not necessary, just pleasant, just attractive. It's good to see. A little bit of woodwork there. Bigger windows here, but they're set a decent distance forward, so if I climb onto the bed and sit myself up, it kind of narrows your angle of visibility. It'd be nice if those windows were slightly further aft so you could really enjoy a view of the sea. But still, it's a nicely put together cabin. Everything feels very, very modern and clean. It's quite a refreshing place to be. More storage at the foot of the bed there. And if we head up and across to the starboard side, well, this is the owner's cabin. The first thing you see down in here is a little lounge. Well, I say little, big enough for 3 or 4 people actually, which is completely unnecessary in an owner's cabin, but it's welcome nonetheless. You could stretch out there quite happily. On most boats that would face across to a TV, but here it does not. Though I'm sure one could be spec'd should you want it. Now we're looking forward here, so if we move forward past this big cupboard on our left hand side, this is the owner's heads compartment. A toilet, good bit of work surface and storage, a sink and a decent size of shower, again with a rain shower, which is very welcome indeed. Another hatch in the side deck to give you a bit of extra light and ventilation should you need it. Extra hull windows, tail rail. It's all relatively simplistic, but it's nicely done and it's well proportioned. And as for the bed, well, that is again a very decent size indeed. Pretty good hull windows again, asymmetrical, very pretty. Stylistically, it's a very sophisticated boat, but again they are slightly further forward of where you'd want them to be if you're going to sit up in bed and enjoy the view. Although having said that, if I sit on the inboard side, you still get a decent view through those windows. So I'm being a little churlish there. And as every good owner would want, you need more than a book in bed. You need complete control of your vessel, and you get exactly that right here. That then is the new Wama 42 XL. As I say, there'll be a slimmer fiberglass version of this same 42-foot cat coming out in the near future. And actually Wama also does a 26-foot monohull, and that'll expand into a larger range as well. But for the moment, what we have here is unlike anything I've ever seen before, either inside or outside. The family owner is a very charming man, and though it's not perhaps the percentage choice, not the mainstream option, I think that's a really charming piece of work. I'd love to know what you guys think of it, so please do leave your comment in the section below. If you've enjoyed this video, hit like, And if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, then please do subscribe to the Motorboat and Yachting channel.